He led his country boldly through the treacherous shoals of Cold War crises. His firm commitments to support the cause of democracy throughout the world won him a claim almost unprecedented in the history of the presidency. He faced up to communist threats with such firm shows of force that Khrushchev backed down in Cuba, softened the hard red line on Berlin. He brought to the White House the vigor of youth and a family that captivated the hearts of all. No possible shadow loomed over this last group picture of his family, John and Jacqueline, John and Caroline. Death has closed the cover on album portraits like this. His rendezvous with grim destiny begins a little after noontime as his plane lands in Dallas. Earlier, he had received a tumultuous reception in Fort Worth, and now more thousands are waiting to greet him in downtown Dallas. But death is less than 1 short hour away.
Welcome back to the program, and again, join me in welcoming Robert White from Baltimore, Maryland, who has this marvelous, once-in-a-lifetime Kennedy memorabilia collection. Of course, how many didn't see those newsreels over and over and over, or those TV newsreels?
Yeah, even young people realize.
I mean, and you know, I'm going to tell you something. I remember the limousine, but I don't remember the car as much as I remember the people in it. But these are actual photographs there because the flags were so large. Of the
I have
flags,
them mounted in beautiful frames that I'll have at Atlantic City.
These were actually the flags that were on the limo that John F. Kennedy was driving in the day he was assassinated.
Yes, they were used all during his presidency, but they were on that ill-fated day.
And that's the American flag, and of course this is the presidential flag, which
the picture doesn't show it too well, but right down in the corner down here, it even has wax from when they lay on the side because the cars were highly polished. The wax came off on the fringe of the flag.
Right. Now this was a sad piece too, but it's a piece of history. It was actually a check that was made out and signed by John Kennedy on the 20th of November 1963, and the bank revoked it because of death.
Yeah, you can see the little pink slip. They sent it back and it says revoked by death.
And it was for $37.40, and I said to Bob, well, what would that be for? He said it was for laundry.
For laundry, yes.
But this is something that people wouldn't realize, things like that would have happened. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And these are the actual cards that were sent out to...
Well, these, Jackie Kennedy responded to people's condolences. This one and this one are from Jackie, and this one is from Joseph and Rose, the parents, from Florida. So if you wrote to Joe and Rose Kennedy, they would send you this back as a thank you for the death of their son.
Right. Now, of course, another sad thing was this was a piece that was made up because naturally they expected Kennedy to win in 1964, and that was a piece that was made up. It's a tie bar.
Yes, never used.
Never used because naturally the assassination.
It says Kennedy 64 on it.
Yeah, that too, see, is so sad. And then, of course, Jack Ruby, who played an important part with the assassination of
Lee Harvey
Oswald.
I'll have some things on Ruby, not a lot, but I don't want to stress the assassination too much. But this is an interesting original photograph that was in Ruby's possession, and taken in September.
At the Carousel Club. And you know, you were just telling me that it was a stripper's joint. I'd never realized that.
Yeah, the Carousel nightclub
I was in such a state of shock. I was thinking only of the death, I guess. And of course, when they talked about Jack Ruby, I didn't realize that he had that kind of a club. I knew it was some kind of a club. But
this is 2 months before he killed Oswald, and I even have the coat that he's wearing. I won't have it at Atlantic City, but I do have that coat he's wearing.
And they actually are the strippers that were playing in the club with him.
And with that, I'd like to show 3 of the address books. These are Jack Ruby's address books that he had in his right coat pocket when he shot Oswald, and they still have the exhibit tags from the Warren Commission on them.
Well, you hear the little black books. Well, he had little red, black,
well, these agents were given these, Secret Service agents were given these, and did a huge amount of research on all the names and phone numbers in these books.
And this is the actual
mass cards from Robert Kennedy's funeral mass in 1968 and John Kennedy's in November of '63.
And this was such an interesting piece because this was the actual tag that hung from the physician.
Dr. Berkeley was the president's personal physician and also did the autopsy at Bethesda Naval, and was also in the motorcade in Dallas, and was in attendance at Parkland Hospital. But this tag was on his doctor's bag the whole time during Kennedy's administration, and including Dallas.
Well, Robert White, we have to, of course, we come to the end of a program, but we don't come to the end of the story.
Oh, no.
And it goes on, and he's going to have a marvelous display in the ballroom, on the stage, at that once-in-a-lifetime Norman Shout extravaganza. Well, it comes twice a year, but this is going to be so super with
Yeah, I
you.
welcome anybody to come and converse about Kennedy, ask me any questions about my collection.
And it's the
or anything.
19th and 20th of October, right in Atlantic City. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ray.
And when we come back, we're going to bring on Bob's wife, Jackie, and she's going to select the winning postcards for tickets to the Atlantic City show. So please stay tuned. We're coming up.